chat, since I will not be having stream tomorrow, it is time to facilitate our traditional end of the week video. Chat, it is Scott time. It is Scott time, and he is checking out if guns will shoot underwater. Are we ready? Let's fucking go.
Are you having fun swimming in my pool? Get out. Get out of my pool.
Uh-oh. He's him a cannonball, isn't he? Close enough.
What's up, everybody? My name is Scott, and you're watching Kentucky Ballistics. And if you ever wondered, will your gun fire underwater? Well, today we're gonna find out.
Okay, can I just say, considering this is summertime in Kentucky, this must have been his favorite video to make the whole year. He gets to hang out in the pool where it's nice and like the nice cool water for practically the entire video. Oh, he's got a lot. He must have loved making this.
A 5,000-gallon pool, and we're gonna see if a firearm will actually go off under the water. I have small calibers ranging all the way up to a 50 BMG, and we're gonna see if the gun will go off, how far will the bullet go, or will the gun spontaneously disassemble. I am very excited about today's video, so let's get set up and get started.
Okay, so we've seen stuff like this before. Number one, yes, the firearm will very likely the majority of the firearms will discharge underwater, but the rounds are only going to go, I think when Mythbusters tested firing in water, it's going to go like 3 feet. The rounds are not going to go very far at all. That's why water tanks are used for ballistics tests. When you fire the round into the water, the round only goes like maybe 3 feet.
All right, well, up first, we have a .22 long rifle. This is a Ruger LCR
yes, Revan.
long rifle.
Point of note, sorry, Scott. Point of note, when CinemaSins did their John Wick 3 video, and they did the underwater shooting thing, the narrator laughed his ass off and was like, yes, 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 yes. Because every other action movie that CinemaSins worked on, where they were showing like bullets zipping through water, they did the sin of that's not how bullets work. And then in John Wick 2 or John Wick 3, they actually showed that shooting a gun underwater, the bullet goes nowhere. And like the narrator was just cheering, like, thank you, finally someone got it right.
This is a revolver, and I will be using a 40 grain .22 long rifle. I honestly don't expect this to go very far if it actually goes off. But if a bullet does go far today and tries to puncture our pool, I do have a piece of steel in the pool to stop the round. So the key for today's video is to make sure the barrel and everything is full of water. That way we have equal pressure. So I'm gonna go under the water now and see if I can get this thing to go off.
Right, so did the round actually exit?
Wow, okay. We hit the steel. Also, a gun going off underwater. Just a .22. Wow. I felt that all over my body.
Right.
I don't know about...
Hey, Sausage, thank you for the gifteds. Thank you so much for 10 gifteds.
Some of these bigger ones. We did hit the steel. Well, we obviously were not hitting it very hard. I mean, that 22 is in perfect condition. So, ow! Horsefly!
Kirby? Thank you, Kirby.
Okay, up next we are going to use a Glock 17 chambered in 9mm, and I will have a 124 grain 9mm full metal jacket. Get this thing full of water. Here we go.
Nice.
That is weird. When that goes off, like I feel it through my arm, like the water is like slapping my arm under there, and it's very loud. We hit the steel, and our slide functioned correctly. It even locked back. Okay,
Nice.
well, hit the steel and then stopped right there. Again, did not do anything to that bullet.
Yeah.
There is no deformation or anything. Now,
Yeah, because he's like, what? He's what? 5 feet away from the steel? It's not going to, because that's the limit of what a round will travel underwater. You think he's 10 feet? I don't. We'll take a look on the next one. I think he's a little closer than 10 feet.
if we were out in the open, in the air, that definitely would have deformed or Up next is an American classic, the 1911 chambered in 45 ACP. Now, I have a 230 grain 45 ACP full metal jacket. I am very curious about this one because it has an external hammer, while the Glock is striker fired and it is inside the slide.
This could make a difference.
Out. So, is the water going to slow down that travel enough to where it won't be able to strike the firing pin hard enough
This is
to
a
make
good
this round
question.
go off, or is it going to go off just as it's intended to? Only one way to find out. Okay, here we go.
All right, so is it, yeah, you know what? You could be right. That does look like it could be about 10 feet. You could be right. That's about 10 feet. Okay, that was cool. The multiple explosions, the multiple shockwave explosions, that was cool. And the funny thing is here, you know what the funny thing is? We're basically seeing the wound path. The water is effectively speaking working like ballistics gel. So every round we're seeing being fired here, we're seeing the wound track, and we're seeing the wound damage. So there's your cavitation of strike, and right there is what would be left behind in the ballistics gel. These two cavitations would be what's left behind. That's cool.
Okay, wow. All right. We hit the steel again, but I'll tell you something. That time, I've never felt that kind of a shockwave go through my fingers when firing a gun. I don't know what it is about the water. I know it's more dense and all that, but I am feeling a lot of...
Well, because of the density of the water, it's amplifying the sound waves. That's why we're able to see the path so much. Water, the water is this is why when this is why like mines in water is what I mean by that, Antimeme, is it's translating the sound into physical sound waves. And it basically translates it into a physical shockwave underneath it that is amplified because because there's nowhere for it to escape, because there's no open air. So that basically the water is containing the audio shockwave far more than if it was open air. If it's open air, it's less dense. The shock wave, the sound in a shock wave can disperse far more easily. It cannot disperse as easily within the water, and so water is basically capturing those sound waves in physical form and transferring it throughout the pool, and that's why Scott is feeling it so much more intensely underwater.
Not recoil, but just a like shock, like an impulse through my fingers. It's not like recoil. It literally feels like I'm slapping a table with a baseball bat. Oh! The gun went off. We hit the steel again and our slide lock back. It's pretty impressive. It's right there at the steel. And again, we have no deformation at all. Bullet looks perfect and smack the steel. This is really interesting. Now I'm going to step it up to some bigger calibers, but at this point, with the amount of shock I am feeling through the water in my face, in my ears, and through my fingers, I don't think it's wise for me to continue being in the water when these bigger guns start going off. So I think I'm going to try doing something a little bit different.
Yes, exactly.
Forward. I have a vice grip, and I'm going to submerge this into the water, and then I'm going to vice grip the next few guns in this and pull a string, because I think that is probably the safest way to do this moving forward. So the next caliber we are going to be doing is 44.
And now he's moved it closer. Now he's probably within 5 feet. He's halved his distance, so we may actually start seeing some deformation on the. We may start actually seeing deformation on the rounds because he's halved his distance between steel.
Or Magnum. This is a Ruger.
Yes, J10, they absolutely do.
44 Magnum, and I'll be loaded up.
Yeah. And J10, to your point, yes, they do shoot into water tanks when they do forensics, precisely because it will not deform the round. When you fire into a water tank, the round, as we've been seeing by the rounds that Scott has been pulling out, even after they've tinned off of the steel, the round is completely clean. It is a completely clean round. There's zero deformation whatsoever. And that is why they use water tanks for ballistics forensics.
With some Underwood ammo, 44 Magnum, 245 grain full metal jackets.
Well, anti-meme, in terms of forensics, when they shoot it into the water barrel, they place they basically put the barrel of the firearm into like a tube, and it's literally right above the water. For some of them, maybe the tip of the barrel might even be submerged under the water. But it's still not going to deform the bullet. Because I'm pretty sure Mythbusters, when they actually did similar tests, they did not submerge the firearm underwater. They fired from above the water, and the rounds also were not deformed. Yes, they shot. Yes, exactly, and the rounds were still not deformed. With the forensics water tanks, I'm pretty sure that when they place the firearm that they're doing into the sleeve, essentially, the tip of the barrel is either right above the water or even the tip that might actually be submerged in the water. So the distance the round is traveling to get into the water in the water tank doesn't travel far enough that it could facilitate any deformation of the round, which is what it will allow them to do ballistic rifling checks on test rounds.
All right, we're ready to rock and roll. Not gonna lie, a little sketchy pulling that hammer back underwater. Ready?
Here we go.
Here we go. Oh, wow.
It works.
That is completely different out of the pool, and I am really glad that I was not in the pool for that.
Impressive.
Ow! Ow! knee.
Oh, he pooped his knee.
Okay, let's take a look at the gun because we are working with higher pressures. And
yes, they did, Vishrock. They did both.
It looks perfectly fine. There we go. Case looks normal. No signs of overpressure. Okay. We hit the steel. There's actually a mark on the steel this time. And for the first time, we actually have some deformation on the bullet.
Yeah, again, I'm going to point out the firing position of this pistol is, again, half the distance from where he was before. Where he was before was the far end of the pool, and he halved that distance. And that's why we're getting deformation on the round.
So the 44 mag still lost a ton of energy, but still had enough energy to at least deform the bullet. That would hurt. Okay, it didn't work. Up next is going to be 500 Magnum. I am very curious to see what happens when this behemoth goes off under the water. So this
should be interesting.
Raging Hunter chambered in 500 Magnum, and I'm going to be using some Underwood ammo, Kentucky Ballistics 600 grain hard casts. Oh, 500 Magnum. Oh,
it helped. And I didn't see any unburnt. I didn't see any unburned powder on that one. Did you, chat? I don't think I saw any unburned powder floating on that one. Sideways, went from hang on. Talk about right here. Yeah, like you're seeing it through, like there's obviously it like you're getting gas explosion through the cylinder gap. Absolutely. That's to be expected. But this one I'm not seeing any. I'll look at the explosive power. Look at the return cavitation on that. Boom. Wow. That's impressive.
That'll hold me down. I'm like Rampage Jackson. This chain is a great idea. That's much easier. I should have been doing that from the get-go. The gun, I mean, to the naked eye, looks pretty good. See, I can see the bullet right now. Okay, found the bullet. We have deformation that time. Quite a bit, actually. That took quite a bit of force to actually dent that 500.
Well, Jeff, I think his purpose is, will it fire underwater, and what kind of impact the round will have when it's fired underwater. So it's like a dual purpose. It's dual purpose video on this one.
Magnum round that much, but the steel is still perfectly fine. Not a dent in it. There is a green mark on it where it hit, but that's about it. That is awesome. Cannot believe the 500 Magnum went off underwater. And I will say, if you did fire a 500 Magnum under the water, you are probably going to be a little concussed, because even the 45 ACP was just absolutely nauseating to shoot. That would be pretty bad. But it'd go off. Up next is going to be a
here we go.
Shotgun, and I'm going to use two different types of ammunition. I'm going to use double-aught buck with 9 pellets, and then we're going to use a 1-ounce slug. I say we start out with double-aught buck. Put my chain on. Yeah, that's going to keep me down there.
This will be interesting.
Okay, here we go. 12-gauge shotgun. Whoa. We had a light primer strike. Didn't go off. Had to. Unfortunately, the pump action 12 gauge was not going off, so I brought it back up. This is a little New England Firearms.
So, okay, but that's good data. That means a pump action shotgun may not function while submerged. Maybe with the pump action shotgun, it doesn't seat the round like tight enough underwater that it allows for a proper primer strike. You think it might be the primers? I don't know.
12 gauge, single shot with a hammer. Think it's going to go off. So again, double aught buck. Let's try again. Here we go. Okay, so we had another light primer strike. So I think I'm going to give up on the double aught buck, and I say we just try a slug.
I wonder, is being submerged underwater impeding the striker from properly hitting the primer? Like the shotgun's firing pin is not as finely tuned as like a pistol. Throwlock, I don't believe so, because he's saying they're getting light primer strike, which means the firing pin is not striking the primer with enough force to engage the primer and thus set off the gunpowder. It's not what's going on?
If we
Okay.
can't get that to go off either, I guess we're going to move on to rifles. Okay, here goes the slug. Let's see what happens. Oh, okay.
The slug worked.
Went off.
What? Hey.
This is why you use a lead sled instead of just a vise.
Oh, it broke.
It broke the screw off of the shotgun.
Nice.
This whole fore end just broke off. But it went off. I don't see any bulges. Oh, that's tight. Oh, no, we got some. This is broken right here. Now, that may be from the vise when it went off. But that thing does not want to open. Okay, well, we have our first damaged firearm today. Good news is it went off, so I know it's not loaded. Okay, here is our slug, and it actually has some deformation. It's pretty, actually, that almost looks like it went backwards. If I didn't know any better, I would say that it hit the steel backwards. But that is a really weird way for a slug to deform. But regardless, we got it to go off.
Probably tumbled.
We hit our steel, but I broke the shotgun. So next, we are going to move on to rifles. I have 3 rifles that I'm going to use today.
Okay, this one should function no problem.
An AR-15. This is a 20-round mag, and it's loaded up with 2 rounds of 5.56 full metal jackets. Curious to see how this goes. Where are my goggles? Mom! Where are my goggles? AR-15, here we go. Oh, wow, it went off the first try.
Okay. Okay.
We blew up the gun. Pretty sure that gun.
Yeah. I was gonna say that right here. That was a lot of yeah, right here. Oh, you can see the movement. You can see the movement in the frame right here. Right there, you can see the movement. Yeah, and I noticed something floating here. That might have been a piece. Like there's something. Yeah, there's the piece of the gun right there. Right there. Oh, no. Yeah, like he blew up the receiver on that one.
We blew up the gun. Pretty sure that gun exploded. There are little springs and everything down there. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. So first of all, I'll get the mag in just a second. But we are split right down the top. That is wild. It's completely split it. And that's all jammed up in there. The bolt's jammed in there. We created quite the high pressure situation and completely destroyed the gun. You see that guy right there? He really hurts. I just can't get them. Here's our mag. Completely disassembled. Blew the bottom out. Springs. And then there's
there's the other round
there, just in case the first one didn't go off. There it is. 5.56 bullet. No deformation on this. If I had to guess, it probably got pretty squirrely when it left the barrel, but it still did hit the steel, but I guess that lost a lot of energy. Okay,
yes, it did, Tornado.
AR-15 did not survive underwater gunfire, but will the AK...
Well, Jacoby, it kind of looked like it might have been a polymer. It did look like it maybe was a polymer, perhaps. I don't know.
AK-47 survive. This is the ultimate test. Which one is better, the AR-15 or the AK-47? This is my Century Arms AK-47, and this has actually been frozen in ice for 100 days and was perfectly fine. And we have shot black powder rounds through it, so this thing is pretty...
I mean, the AK is really tough. It would not surprise me that, well, granted, it also kind of depends on the manufacturer, but it's stop it, JRC. Well, Cortez, he tested like firing black powder rounds through modern rifles. He did a video on that. Pretty sure we watched it. The AK, like, this thing is known to shoot through anything, so it may work.
Pretty tough, but today we'll really find out how tough it is. And I will be loaded
Go
up
ahead,
with
Jameson.
a 7.62 by 39 full metal jacket, and I believe these are 123 grain.
TX, I don't recall if that was an AK or an RPK. I don't remember which one that was in Lethal Weapon 4, honestly. It's been a while since I've seen it. For some reason, I'm thinking it was an RPK. But I could be wrong. I could be mistaken about that.
AK-47 is set up, so let's see what happens. All right, here we go. Oh, wow.
It just blasted. The receiver just kind of noped right the hell out of there. We got to see that again. Oh, that was great.
Wow.
And summer right now, Brandon wants to cry, and he just doesn't know why.
That's not looking too good either. Let's go check it out. Woo! All right. So top cover blew off, which, I mean, I don't know if that's a big deal or not. Here is our spent casing, and actually, that's really interesting. If you look right there, the rim of that case almost got ripped off by the ejector. That's not normal.
Oh. Wow.
Now let's check out the gun. I mean, it looks like it's fine, but I wonder. Regardless, it's in better shape than the AR-15, which just absolutely detonated.
Yeah.
And our mag was okay. I'm guessing that we had a big spike in pressure, naturally, because it's underwater. But I don't think the AK-47 was damaged in any sort of way. I just think that the pressure blew the top cover off. And other than that, it seems like it's okay. I mean, this one is actually functioning. I'm going to say that the AK-47 wins. There it is. So, not a lot of deformation on that.
No.
Still looks about the same.
I bet.
That is really interesting. So I'm guessing these rifle rounds, them being pointed and not flat on the end, they're having a lot of trouble flying through the water. We're that close, so we're still hitting the steel, but I think if we had more water, you would definitely see this thing tumbling. I may be in a nice, cool pool right now, but
Boy.
at this moment, my neck is burning. So I considered using my
Boy, here we
50
go.
BMG in this video, but after seeing what happened to the AR-15 and the AK-47, I'm deciding against it. And instead, I have a Serbu RN-50 chambered in 50 BMG. I'm very curious to see what happens when this goes off underwater. I know exactly how this gun fails when it's overpressured, but we're not going to talk about that. Anyways, we are going to get this loaded up with this giant 650 grain 50
This should be
full metal
good.
jacket, and we're going to see what happens when a 50 BMG goes off underwater.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
A little bit nervous when loading the RN50, but today I'm gonna have a whole new level of anxiety when trying to set this thing up and get it ready to fire underwater. You know, they say the best way to deal with trauma is to face it. I say that's horrible. So you gotta swim in it.
Oh, Coyote, he already said his neck is itching. Oh. I was waiting for that.
All right.
I was waiting.
Here we go, RN50 underwater. Oh, here we go. Oh!
The shock wave. Oh, it knocked the camera down. Oh my God! Hold up, we gotta try and get an internal view of that again.
Oh, here we go. Oh!
I mean, that stayed sealed. Let's... I couldn't see the camera tip too much. No, it punched through it. Maybe.
What happened? Where did it went through
Punched through it.
It went through the steel and then through my pool.
Oh, man.
Hey, there's...
No, it's not a shockwave. You could see it. You could see the hull. Hang on. Hang on. There. There's the hole. That's where it punched right through. Even underwater, it
Blasted
punched.
out the ass of the table.
Yes.
It completely blew its ass out.
Yes, it did. Wow. I don't think it caught around. It went through.
It went through the steel and then through my pool. Hey, there's the bullet.
Oh.
Look at that. Well, that's the jacket. That is the jacket to it. Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
Wait, so it went through the steel, but the water slowed it down enough that it stripped the jacket off and the jacket remained in the water. Wow. Oh, that was awesome. And Bobner, thank you for the follow.
Kind of surprised it went through the steel, honestly. We had seen all these other rounds slow down so much and just bounce off of that steel. But the 50
You think the steel
BMG
stripped it? Possibly.
Still packing a punch underwater. We made it through this steel, which this is about 1/8 of an inch thick, but it still managed to punch through that at kind of a weird angle, but it made it through. The gun, oh, okay, well,
Something came
I
off.
figured that may happen. Guess it came out of the vise and then punched my grip and completely broke it. But that's okay.
The grip is
That's
done.
an easy fix. Let's actually check out the gun. It does not appear to be cracked or anything like that. Oh.
Honestly, that... Oh, wait, hang on.
Oh, okay. We definitely had some overpressure in the gun because
Hey, yeah.
I can't get that undone. And that is a very bad sign at least for this gun in particular, if the
Yeah.
cap won't come off. So that's stuck on there pretty good. So we definitely had overpressure, but I guess not enough to actually detonate the gun. So I learned a lot today. Guns will in fact go off underwater. The bullets may not perform exactly how you want, and when you get up into the bigger calibers, the more higher pressured rounds, you may experience some failures. I also learned that if you are underwater when a gun goes off, there's a good chance you may be concussed, especially if you were under the water with a 500 Magnum or a 50 BMG. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, do me a big favor and give it a like, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Horseflies. Also be sure and check me out on all other social media.
Well, which ones? You mean the handgun rounds, Fancy mean? Like the well, yeah, they probably were under high pressure because, I mean, it's underwater, so it had to blow through that pressure, sure. Yeah.
Media platforms. Links to those can be found in the description down below, along with a link to...
Oh! His 50 injury came from it was the slap round, and it was a hot slap round. If memory serves, I've seen a couple people make comments on this. I believe the slap round was when it was loaded, the powder was actually pistol powder. Yeah, the slap round that he did with his injury. Yeah, it was like loaded. Yeah, he does a follow-up video. People have been asking me. I'm gonna have to do that follow-up video one of these days. But it was like it was loaded with like pistol powder, not rifle powder. Pistol powder burns much hotter and much faster, and that was part of the result of why it exploded. One of these days, I will do the follow-up where he does that. Like my 50 cal blew up again. People have been asking me to do that. I will do it one of these days.
Other social media platforms. Links to those can be found in the description down below, along with a link to KentuckyBallistics.com, just in case you want to pick up a shirt. And as always, my name is Scott. Thank you so much for watching Kentucky Ballistics. I'll see you next time.
Oh, he destroyed the pool. Oh, that was great. Although, no table this time. No table this time, chat. The tables were given amnesty today.